I'm going to finally do a full step-by-step guide to how to create an entire dubstep track. Now I'm going to be breaking this series into parts, of course. For example, like the intro or the build-up and the drop. And the first one's going to be on the intro, of course, and just a basic idea of everything. And so I'm just going to tell you the things you need right off the bat. First off, FL Studio, of course. Then you're going to need a plugin called Massive. And also, I'd highly recommend getting Zeta or Nexus, because I might be using those. And you also need a lot of patience and time, of course. So what I do when I start off with a dubstep track is I decide whether it's going to be a slow or fast-paced dubstep song. And I'm going to right-click and go to 140 BPM. That means I'm doing a regular pace dubstep. The other way I do it is with 110, but we're not going to do that today. The next thing is I'm going to start off with a drum loop first off. And I will have a link in the description for these two samples I'll be using. Let's find my tutorials thing. The dubstep kick and the pitch snare. And you can go ahead and get rid of the clap and the hat because I'm not going to be using them. So once you have these loaded in, you're going to pull this up to 16. And we're going to start off with a kick snare pattern here, just like what I usually do. And then we work off of that. So you just have to kind of build up to what you're gonna be, well, what your final drum pattern's gonna be. And then I'm gonna right click once I have my pattern, gonna right click and send a piano roll. And now I'm just gonna go across the kick, and I'll show you what I'll be doing. Now I'm going to zoom in here, and if you're wondering how I zoomed in, I put the cursor on top of the black bar and I just use the scroll button on my mouse. And also make sure you have the magnet selected and 1/4 step. And then I'm going to be making two kicks that are small right in here, so it makes the choppy effect like this. Maybe I'll stretch that out. That sounds good. So I have my drum pattern, or my basic drum pattern at least. Now I'm going to go in and click on the dub kick, drop down arrow, and assign free mixer track. And then I'm going to go into parametric EQ and just boost this up a little bit so it gets a little bit more punchy sound. And because it's a kick, I'm going to drag down the highs a little bit. And that's just a quick EQ right there. Then I'm going to go into my snare and assign free mixer track. Do parametric EQ as well. Then I'm going to just bring down the basses a little bit. And then bring up the highs. And that should be all we need right there. Maybe make the kick a little louder and snare a little louder. And also go up to your master volume and bring that down a little bit, just because that improves the quality. If you notice when you have it up, this bar up here goes into the red. You don't want it into the red because that can add distortion when you're playing it through headphones or speakers. But the next thing I'll do is I'll rename this track 1 drums, and just so that track is designated for my drums. And now we're gonna work on a quick intro. And let's see, what'll I use for that? I could make a quick lead in Massive. Or you know what? For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to be using my free 300 presets pack. And you can look in my videos, and I have free 300 presets for Massive. And that's what I'll be using today. So I'm going to go and find a lead. Let's see, LD. If they have one in here. Let's see what laser sounds like. Nah. How about a saw? Yeah, sure, we'll go like this, except I'll pitch it down. No, I'll pitch it to 0. Right there. Guess that does not sound good. Alright, now I'm gonna go into piano roll. And I'm just gonna work my my starting synth or lead. This will be my bass line, I guess. And then I'm gonna go in and drag this back so they're not connected. No, you know what? I'll keep it this way. So that'll be my bass line. I'm gonna rename track 4 and do bass line. So I will start off with that. Drag in 4, I guess. Then I'm gonna make a lead. We'll rename this track bassline. Alright, now I'm gonna go in and, well, of course, file save as Dubstep tutorial. That's what I'll name it. Alright, so be sure to save often because you do not want to lose your whole project. The next thing is we will go into Nexus. And if you don't have Nexus, you can substitute this with any other thing you have. So and then I'm gonna work in the same pattern for now, but then I'll eventually separate them. We'll cut and paste these into a higher octave. And then I will just drag this on. Alright, so that will be my lead, I guess. As you may have noticed, the synths kind of interfere with each other. So what we're gonna do is go into the bass line and we'll bring the volume down a little bit, and then go into the channel settings, assign free mixer track, and then you're gonna EQ it. Bring down the lows just a little bit, because you are up a little bit, and then the highs down, because you do not want that to interfere with the other one, which we are going to click and find the channel settings, assign free mixer track, and we're going to bring up the highs in this one and then bring the lows down. So then hopefully they won't interfere. We'll see. And that works. So then I'm gonna go ahead and paste this. We'll Control X and then find first empty and V to paste in, and then we're gonna go lead. So I might have this in for the first two and then add in the bass line. We'll see how that sounds. Alright, and then I'll extend these a few more, I guess. And then we're going to also add a track called FX. And I recommend getting an effects pack, maybe the Vengeance 3 pack, just so you can add in some effects here and there, like a reverse effect. And I'll add in this right here. And now if you want to get it exact, that sounds good, I guess. Then we'll go into this and drag the volume down. Maybe volume down a little bit. I might change the lead synth. I don't know if I like that. Bring up the decay on this a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. Perfect. And then I want to have a kick in there that's got some reverb as an opener. So I'm going to clone this kick right here, rename it kick rev, so I know it's got reverb on it. Assign free mixer track, go in and add reverb to, drag all these up, bass down. And then I'm going to add a fruity delay, wherever that is. Let's see here. Delay, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Perfect. And then we're going to drag up the volume on that, and then also EQ it and bring up the punch. And that is going to go into a new pattern where we're just going to have, just that. So this will go into our effects tab, so it'll start off like this. I might change the delay on that, so it's I'll bring the volume down. And then we're going to bring in our drums. Oh, and you can't even hear them. So we're going to bring down our lead synth and all these volumes and bring up the kick and the pitch, or in the snare. Perfect, that sounds pretty good. And you saw I clicked the normalize tab right here just to bring up the volume and everything, widen out the sound a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can add any effects into or extras into the I'm gonna add a wasp so I can add some effects into the intro. I'll just make a quick thing here. perfect. And I'm just going to add this as a little filler for the highs. Whoops, that's in pattern 1, I guess. So we're going to Control X, find first empty, and Control V. And we'll go high Plux. Bring down the volume on this quite a ways, just as a filler. I'm going to go into my dub kick and find the mixer track here, and I'm just going to bring up the punch even more. You know what, and I might change pattern 4 just to a crash. That sounds cool. Alright, so here we'll listen to this. Alright, and I think that is pretty much it for the intro section of it. The next section will be the build-up, which for me is a long process, and that'll take us all the way out to here. And yeah, so that is pretty much how you do it. Of course, this is not the greatest build-up, or it's not going to be the greatest dubstep track, because I only have a certain amount of time to do it. Usually I spend weeks on one, and not like 15-20 minutes. Yeah, but subscribe for more or the next tutorial to be notified when it's up. Hopefully I'll have it up in a week or two. Yeah, and just keep following with these tutorials and keep getting better. Thanks for watching.